So in this video, I'm just going to be doing an unboxing, setup, and review of a JuBiter Blade 2 hardware wallet. This is a device that was sent to me to have a look at, and I've actually never heard of the company that made it, so let's have a look and see. And if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe, and that way you can stay in the loop for content I make to help you find your way in the crazy and often hostile environment that is cryptocurrency. All right, so this is what you get when you get the hardware wallet, so let's just follow the bouncing ball. So this is the actual hardware device. It's very, very small. All right, so this is everything you get in the box. You've got a micro USB cable for the collection, 2 recovery cards, a getting started guide, and the device itself. The JuBiter Blade is actually very small. So it's very small, but it's actually also quite solid. It's made of metal, and it's actually much smaller even than something like a Coolwallet, which is sort of the credit card form factor. You can sort of see the size comparison there, and it's probably about 3 or 4 times the thickness of a Coolwallet S. And just for a bit of comparison as far as sizes go, you've got the Trezor T, here's the JuBiter Blade 2, a Ledger Nano X, and a Coolwallet. It's definitely a very small and robust little device. So we'll just follow the bouncing ball and run through setting this thing up. So that is connected. So let's go to that website. So I'm just trying to go to this website and it doesn't actually work. Let's try scanning the QR code. QR code. So this is the user manual. So what's wrong with this link? Let's just have a look. Okay, their web server is not set up properly. If you just try and navigate straight to this website without the www, it won't actually work. Even though this here doesn't have that written on it, that's an easy fix they might actually fix by the time you watch this. Okay, so let's get this thing connected to a phone. So we'll get the mobile app. We'll get it for the App Store. Get. So open. Yep, sure, we'll let it have notifications, why not? Yep, it'll definitely need Bluetooth. So this device has actually come pre-initialized, and just to be clear, I think this is something that the vendor has done in this case because they were wanting to sort of, help me out or something. But just to be really clear, if your device ever comes pre-initialized, do not use it with the seed that is on there. You need to wipe it, do a complete factory reset, and start again from scratch with a seed that you generated. Press up and OK together to enter the menu and hit reset. Oh, okay, so we are going to reset the device. Yep, I'm sure. Okay, so we're back to where we wanted to be at the very start. So we'll just say create new wallet, and we'll set a pin, and okay, that's interesting. So you'll notice as I hit OK, it just defaults to, it starts with 5 as the first thing you can select here. And as I say OK, every new option that comes up is starting with 5, and there's the up and down arrows to move it. And that's actually different to a ledger in that I'll just go to the confirm screen. If this was a ledger, basically the starting letter for all of these ones where you can sort of move up and down through is randomized. So the interesting thing here is that if someone could see how you were moving up and down and how many times you're moving up and down when entering these PIN codes in, they could actually work out your PIN, whereas that is not possible with a ledger because a ledger starts with a random first letter and loops back over to the top when you hit the minimum number, whereas this just starts with 5 and won't go above 9. So we'll see if that applies to actually entering this PIN in a second. So we'll just go with the default. Choose the number of phrases. Ugh, that's confusing. So it sort of defaults to 12, but hey, look, we'll just say 24. We'll just say OK. Please get the recovery card and pen ready. Next. I'll press down arrow for next. Recovery following. Record the following recovery phrases on the card carefully. So. Okay. I'm just doing this with a pen, though a pencil would be better, so we'll just write down the words. Alright, and we'll say done. Check the recovery phrase. Select the word. Okay, so it's asking us to check word 19. Okay, so we only checked 5 out of the 24 words on this recovery seed. It's not really any worse than a Trezor, but the reality is you cannot afford to be cutting corners verifying your seed, especially when you're first writing it down. You need to verify every word. Okay, so your wallet is ready. So let's connect it to the phone. So we'll select hardware wallet, JuBiter blade, next. Yep, I guess that's the one there. I wonder if there's a way to find out. Let's just see. So we go into the menu on the device. Okay. So to get into the menu on the device, we press the up arrow and OK. Then we just have to wait. It's not super responsive. So let's just go into about and see, does that actually tell us the device's name? Oh yeah, there it is, right there. So we can know that yes, that's the right one. The question is, will it connect when it's on this screen? Let's just try again. So there it is. Okay, now it's connected. So it does not like when this is on the menu. So we'll just turn everything on. And now we wait. Okay, and we are done. So let's have a look. So we've got a Bitcoin wallet, and that's just a legacy address. Can we change anything about that? So it does give us an XPub, which is nice. It gives us a derivation path, which is nice, and that's following standard, so that's good too. So if I go to receive, it shows me address, and if I say check address, oh yeah, there we go, that's nice. So it shows us the address on here, and we can make sure it matches, and look, we can even get a QR code on the device. So let's just send some Bitcoin there. All right, so that's sent. I can just say okay. So I've sent that sent those funds. So let's see if unconfirmed transactions show up. Yes, they do. We can enable multiple Bitcoin accounts, and we can enable SegWit. So that's P2SH SegWit. So that's not terrible. Oh, there we go. Chinese notification, even though I got English. Does that mean that it arrived? Hey, there we go. Okay, so that Bitcoin has arrived, which is great. So if I go into Bitcoin, if I hit receive, does it give me a new address, or is that the same one? Okay, so it just keeps reusing the address over and over and over again. Let's try sending some Bitcoin. So we'll say send. Does it support native SegWit? Yep, so we'll say all. Arguments bad. Invalid address. Hang on, probably doesn't like the prefix. So we'll get rid of the prefix. Let's see, does it like that? No. Alright, so can't support to native SegWit. Does not recognize native SegWit addresses. Does it support PayToScript hash SegWit? So we'll just get rid of the prefix and then we'll paste. Okay, does support P2SH SegWit. So we'll just say next. Insufficient funds. Seriously? Right. So send all doesn't actually work. Let's just try this again from scratch. Right, so let's say I want to send all. Seriously? All. There we go. And next. There's the transaction. We'll say next. Right, so connect to your device. Device went to sleep, so let's turn it on. Wake up. Wake up. There we go. Connecting. Okay, right, so it's sort of like the Trezor style pin entry on here. Though it is good actually in that the numbers, at least on this keypad, are randomized, unlike they were when we chose the pins, so someone can't just work out what you're entering when you type them on the phone screen. Basically, this grid on the phone screen just represents these same numbers here, so I just set it to the default, which was 5555. Say next. Okay, here we go. So here's all the transaction information. So we're sending that information to that address. Right. So that's pretty much all we can see. So we can just say OK. And we can confirm the amount and the fee. OK. All right, and those funds are sent. So what's really interesting is if you click on this little cog here and go into public key details, you can actually get an extended public key for the Bitcoin accounts and Litecoin and other sorts of things. And that's really useful in that you can actually use that to make a watch-only wallet. And I've covered what watch-only wallets are and how to set them up in this video here. But the interesting thing is that when you create a watch-only wallet, it actually gives you a bunch of addresses. And what I've got here in Electrum, I've actually got this same address that's on the Juniper Blade running in Electrum right now, which is just what you'd have if you set this up as a watch-only wallet. So this is really interesting, and what's happening here is that even though I've sent these funds to the 9th address in the wallet, it is actually still displaying the correct balance. So even though if I go in and hit receive, it will only ever show me the first address, pretty much like an EliPal, the wallet itself internally is still actually checking all of these addresses, meaning that the sort of extended public key function in here and the ability to set up a watch-only wallet is actually usable, even though the device only shows you a single address in normal operation. All right, so what else have we got? So we've got Ethereum as well, plus a bunch of random tokens. Can also add a bunch of ERC20 tokens. Though it doesn't look like we can add custom ones. There's a whole bunch there. What's this? DAPPS. Okay, that does not handle dark mode. Let's turn dark mode off and see if it looks any better. So we'll just turn dark mode off and let's try again. Okay, so their app just can't handle dark mode. So basically on dark mode, the text stays black. So right, so it's all things like Uniswap, as well as NFT. DApps are there if you're into that sort of thing. So in terms of Ethereum and stuff, I've just sent some Ethereum here, and it sort of has this DeFi button here, but it actually seems quite confusing in that it lists all of these DeFi apps, but if you click through to them, at least on iOS, it's really just a browser, and you go to connect to wallet, and pretty much nothing happens because you can't actually find the wallet in there. Though what I did find playing around with it is the device actually does support WalletConnect. So if you go to like Uniswap in your browser, select you want to connect wallet and select WalletConnect, you can actually then just press that scan QR code button, and you can then connect with Uniswap. And basically you can then use Uniswap just on your PC or whatever. So for example, we could just say we want to swap that. Say we want to swap all the Ethereum for USDT. I could then just say swap, confirm it here on the desktop, and it would actually come up here on WalletConnect. So we can just say next, and let's see what this looks like over here. Right, so we'll put in the PIN code. Okay, so we just get a transaction hash, gas, and that's it. Now this DApps stuff, just being in the app and essentially just being a useless link, is actually really worth mentioning in terms of usability. If you jump on their website and have a look at their documentation, it is there, but it isn't really super detailed. And there is a lot of functionality in here, like the way this works, how to actually use any of the DApps, and there is just no trace of any of that information in this documentation at all, let alone a mention of the fact that it actually supports WalletConnect just fine. And we'll just send the Ethereum back where it came from. Max. Are you serious? There we go. You can press all, but the all button is a few millimeters wide, so you've got to be pretty careful. So we'll say next. Next. Right, so for a normal ETH transaction, we at least get some more information. So we get the amount that we're sending, we get the fee, okay. We get the recipient address. Do you want to confirm? Yep. Let's just have a look around this app. So we basically just got all the different sorts of cryptos in here. That JuBiter HD would be software wallets that you've got in there. We won't worry about that. JuBiter import. What's that? That's weird, but anyway, we're only really worried about the hardware wallet at this point. So let's see, we can change the device's name. We can view device information, pin retry, max retry. We can unbind it. Let's have a look. What settings do we have in here? Counter values, Japanese yen, Chinese yuan, USD, language. You can lock this up with a fingerprint. So let's go in here and have a look at what we can do on the actual device. So we can choose my address, we can change the PIN, we can reset, and that's it. So the seed is not verified properly at the start, and there's no ability to actually verify it later. So the question is, what does the PIN actually protect? So let's just turn this off. So this offers no real privacy protection in the sense that this will just happily pair with any phone or app, regardless of whether or not you have the PIN. There is no real ability to turn Bluetooth off either. It's just on all the time. Right, and the address explorer on here will let you see the first Bitcoin address, and that's it. All right, so let's see how this goes with a PC. Right, so there is no Windows app. You're stuck using their companion app. Let's have a look. Is any of this open source? All right, so they do have GitHub. So the source is available for their wallet. All right, well, let's just update to the latest firmware and just see if anything has improved. Please plug in your JuBiter Blade device. USB device not recognized. Great. Terrific. Oh, okay, it magically worked. So I eventually worked out what was causing this. Basically, the device cannot connect via USB while the Bluetooth connection is active. So you can either turn the JuBiter Blade off, connect USB, and then turn it back on, or turn off Bluetooth on your phone before connecting the device. Oh, hello, okay. Right, so it's like a ledger in that we have these apps on there that we can update and uninstall and move separately. Oh, it's already the latest version, right. And there are no applications not on there. Firmware is up to date. Bluetooth is up to date. Can we do anything else? No. Right, so you've got one app for all the ETH and things, one app for BTC and things, another app for who knows what. And surprise, surprise, and let's click version info. Right, so if I have my browser here and I try and view any of these links, none of them work. So that is not really going to fill you with a lot of confidence. Does their Twitter work? Yeah, their Twitter link works, and their website link works, at least there. And Facebook works too. But there's nothing else I can do with this device on the desktop. So let's see, does it handle U2F nicely? Oh, hello, there we go. Just unplug and replug it a bunch of times. Okay, so Fido does work. Approved. Alright, let's try again. So I'm not going to use that. Yep. Yep. Continue setup. Okay, it's working now. So, okay. Hey, there we go. So it does work for U2F. So now I can just authenticate. Confirm. Right. All right, so it does work for U2F, even though it was a bit fiddly to get it to be detected. All right, summary time. So basically this device is a lot like the Coolwallet S in that it's all about the form factor. You know, it is a small, thin, solid sort of zinc device. And if that's something that you're looking for and you're happy to put up with all of the compromises along the way for a device like this, then it might be something that interests you. The big challenge with a device device like this is the software just doesn't have a lot of the polish that you would expect on something like a Ledger or a Trezor or things like that. You know, just basic stuff. But this device is in a similar sort of category to things like a Coolwallet S, a SafePal, and so on. It's one of the cheaper hardware wallets on the market, and frankly that shows. But if you're a basic user just looking to do entry-level stuff, store and hold sort of common cryptocurrencies, and operate it all primarily with your smartphone, this might actually be something that you find useful. One other thing that's really important to keep in mind if you're buying a hardware wallet from a less well-known vendor is compatibility. And the JuBiter Blade 2 does follow standards well, in that if you had to change vendors, or if the product wasn't supported anymore or something like that, you could easily just take the seed phrase from your JuBiter Blade 2 and use it in another hardware wallet, and it would work just fine. All your funds would be there. The big challenge that would make this device a problem for anyone who's a newbie is the fact that not only is the seed verification at startup quite poor, it also doesn't allow you to verify your seed backups at any point in the future. So again, if you do go for this device, you really need to set it up with your seed. You need to, transcribe your seed onto paper or steel or whatever you're planning to do, and then you need to wipe the device and fully reinitialize it to verify your seed backups. There is no way to non-destructively do that verification on the device at this time. If you're into NFTs and DeFi and that sort of DApp kind of stuff, this will work just fine for you on the Ethereum chain. Thanks again for the people at JuBiter for sending out the sample. And if this is something that you think would be helpful for your security setup and want to help me out in the process, there's an affiliate link in the description. The key consideration here is a lot of these challenges are things that could be resolved with firmware updates to the companion app, and so on. So again, definitely something to keep an eye on in the future if things change, and this is a form factor that you would really like. Thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. Hit like if you think that other people would find this video useful, and hit subscribe if you'd like to be kept in the loop about future content I make that helps people stay safe in the crypto space and to recover if they get into trouble. If you have any questions about this video or a topic that you'd like me to cover, just leave a reply.